Now, 4 congressional hearings this week alone looking into the agency's lavish spending. The man at the center of the scandal repeatedly yesterday refused to testify, took the fifth. Former and current GSA staffers took a beating from the House Oversight Committee lawmakers. Take a look.
We are here today to get answers to questions that should have been asked and answered long time ago.
They disregarded one of the most basic tenets of government service. It's not your money. It's the taxpayers' money.
It's pathetic. And I got to tell you, I can't tell you how disappointed I am. Working for the government is a sacred trust which you have blown. So instead of a team-building exercise, you might want to investigate a trust-building exercise because you have lost it.
People were mad. Joining us this morning, Congressman Elijah Cummings is a Democrat from Maryland. He's also the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, and I should say you were really mad yesterday. I want to play you a little bit of Jeff Neely, who kind of is at the center of all of this anger and this conversation yesterday, what he had to say when he was finally brought in to testify. Listen.
I respectfully decline to answer based upon my Fifth Amendment constitutional privilege. I respectfully decline to answer based upon my Fifth Amendment constitutional privilege. I respectfully decline to answer based upon my Fifth Amendment constitutional privilege. I respectfully decline to answer.
Yeah, it kind of went on like that over and over and over again. No real surprise there. What did you want to hear from Jeff Neely, sir?
I wanted to know why it is that he was going around planning conferences costing almost $1 million, why he had his wife involved in that process, and why he violated so many rules and regulations of the GSA. I also wanted to know why it was that he was going around threatening people if they dared be a whistleblower. A lot of questions need to be answered, but I respect also, as a lawyer, his right to take the fifth.
Some of that information, of course, came out in the testimony yesterday where people described him as a bully and that there would sort of be a price to pay if you crossed Jeff Neely in some capacity. You wanted to ask a question?
Well, that's due to me, by the way. I didn't know he was so threatening to these various people that threatened to whistleblow on the agency.
You know what's interesting? I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There was testimony with regard to that. The IG said that a number of witnesses told him that they were afraid of Mr. Neely. As a matter of fact, he had to make at least one lady and a confidential informant because she was so fearful. And that's part of the reason a lot of these actions were allowed to go on as long as they did.
When I talked to Congressman Micah this morning, he said to me that there was testimony that he's going to be talking about today that indicates that there was a cover-up, that maybe a cover-up that extends all the way to the White House. Is that something you got out of yesterday's hearing, sir?
I didn't get that out of it. I didn't hear one scintilla of evidence, and I look for those kind of things as a lawyer. I didn't hear anything like that, and I think sometimes we have a tendency so that the Republicans do to come out with these headlines and inflame situations, and then when the testimony comes in, it shows that they're simply not accurate. And I've told Mr. Issa that I want our committee, that is the Government Reform Committee, to be just short of a federal courtroom where we listen to the evidence and come to the conclusion based upon that evidence.
Congressman Will Cain, where does the buck stop? Does it stop with Mr. Neely, or was there another level of bureaucratic management and oversight where someone should have seen this going on and stopped Mr. Neely? The question is, where does the oversight begin and end?
Great question. I think the oversight should have ended and began in the administrator's office. But what happened was all the testimony showed that this is a very decentralized system where by the folks putting together this Western Conference basically had autonomy to deal the way they wanted to deal. And this has been going on for many years throughout many administrations. And so basically the new temporary administrator is coming in. He has to clean up all of this mess, and he will.
Congressman Elijah Cummings joining us this morning. It looks like this may end up as an investigation into possible kickbacks and possible bribes as well.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Okay, well,
I know so.
We're going to, interesting. We're going to be following that as well. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time this morning. Let's get right to